Cicerelli, who handled that marathon between Washington and Pittsburgh the other night, is the referee for tonight's game, and the fans start to roar the moment the Red Wings touch the puck from the opening faceoff. The Jets again will try and slow down the Wings coming through the neutral zone. That's a task easier said than done, Brian.
Well, a huge factor in tonight's game that has to step up into the play and contribute, I think, an awful lot more to the offensive part of this hockey team.
McCarty stepped into McIver as he dished the puck off, and there's another solid hit down in the Winnipeg zone. Olchek attempts to dig it out. Tkachuk is there as well. His centering attempt picked up by Lidstrom. He whips it around the boards, cut off by Manson. He throws it into the corner. Tkachuk and McCarty battle for it. McCarty goes down. Lidstrom tries to bank it out, and he succeeds. Lead pass for Bob Airy, intercepted by Dave Manson. Airy was in behind the defender, but Manson was able to cut it off. Now it's Airy again. Long shot. That's steered to the corner by Khabibulin. Dino Cicerelli, who broke his nose yesterday at practice in a collision with Martin Lapointe, is out there for the Red Wings. He's on a line with Draper and Primo. Cicerelli fighting for it along the boards. Primo's in there with him. Big Primo, who has really been quiet through the first 4 games, only has 1 point. The battle for the puck continues back of the goal. Cicerelli finally taken down by Stapleton. There's going to be a penalty. Here's Coffey from the point. His shot steered to the corner, and as it's touched by Finlay, the whistle goes.
A real physical start to this hockey game. The Red Wings come out hitting. The Jets respond in kind, but eventually there's a holding call in behind the play. Stapleton pulls down Cicerelli back of the goal line, and the one thing that the Winnipeg Jets did not want to do early in this hockey game is give that Red Wing power play an opportunity. Get a chance to see it right there. Stapleton just reaches out, and Dino embellishes it. He does a pretty good job of it too. Watch Cicerelli. Kicks the legs up for emphasis. You see the right arm of Dan Maruelli go up. Stapleton gets the holding call. Remember, it was Stapleton who took a couple of bad penalties in Game 4 in Winnipeg that really cost Winnipeg.
Huge size discrepancy. Stapleton at 5'10", 183. And for the Red Wings, you have Primo at 6'4", 220 pounds.
Well, there's the story of Game 4. 4 for 7 on the power play. They look pretty darn impressive in game number 4.
Coffey and Fedorov are on the points. There's the shot, the rebound. Cicerelli tried to jam it, and Khabibulin got a piece of that one. Fedorov feeds it over to Coffey. Coffey trying to set something up. Now he decides to move in. In front of the net is Cicerelli, and that's where he is also ever so dangerous as he screens the goaltender and really causes fits for Nikolai Khabibulin.
You know, Cicerelli has really become a problem for the Jets penalty killers, and I think that those forwards up top in the penalty killing unit have got to do a better job preventing those point shots from getting through.
Back of the net, Larionov lets it go. Veteran Craig Muni gets it on the other side, finds some skating room, throws it ahead to Darren Shannon. Shannon will dump a soft backhander down into Red Wing territory with 1:06 remaining in the penalty.
You know, there's a continuing trend on the Detroit power play. Get it in the hands of Paul Coffey. He just throws it into the crease area.
Numanen had problems with the puck in his skates. Numanen gets it again, chops it along the boards for Korolev. They can't get it out. Finlay on the other side this time is able to bank it off the boards and down the ice with 40 seconds remaining on the Detroit power play. Here comes Coffey flying out of his own zone. The shoot-in takes the bounce right in front of the Winnipeg net. The puck is loose, and Jamnov picks it up and clears.
You know, one of the other things that is much different in the way the two penalty killers approach the game is that you sense that the Jets are unwilling to put a lot of pressure on the Red Wings up ice in their zone. As a result, they hit that Winnipeg blue line with a full head of steam, and they don't have much difficulty whatsoever penetrating the blue line area and maintaining full control of that puck.
Johnson gains the line, working against Manson. Puck comes to the net, and it's held by Khabibulin with just 3 seconds remaining in the Stapleton penalty. But there is a decided difference, and I'm sure our viewers will note as the game progresses how the Red Wings have been very aggressive with their forechecking on the penalty kill, The Jets are a little more passive.
No question about that. And when you're passive, you have to start winning the battles down in front of the net, especially when Ciccarelli is on the ice. We talked about the fact, take a look at the broken nose of Dino Ciccarelli. A lot of swelling there. Coffey's just going to throw this puck into the crease area. Khabibulin makes 2 brilliant saves, and Dino gets the rebound and flips it off the post. But you can see all the traffic in front of Khabibulin. He does a good job of locating that puck and reacting to the rebound. Ciccarelli comes close to finishing. A very dangerous player, and I think the penalty killers are going to have to change the approach somewhat.
It's going to be another busy night for Khabibulin. If the opening moments of this game are any indication, he has already stopped 4 shots. And now Stapleton is back in the ice. The Winnipeg Jets have survived the first Red Wing onslaught. Eastwood broke it up at center ice, but Taylor gains control and fires it in. Going into the corner after it is Draper. He had McIver bumped. McIver trying to hold up Draper. He's attempting to move the puck, manages to get a hand free, and is moving it along the boards with McIver sticking right to him. Now Draper frees himself. Draper trying to move out front. He knocks McIver down, controls the puck as he comes back to the line. Taylor was in front looking for that centering pass. It didn't get to him in time. Now Brown leaves it there for Taylor. Good job of cycling down low by the Red Wings. Manson now trying to handle Draper in the corner. Finally, the Jets get control, and they are able to clear.
You know, the Red Wings do a good job of cycling it down low, but you have to admire the defensive zone coverage of the Winnipeg Jets. You sense that there is a lot less panic in the defensive zone early on in this hockey game than what we witnessed in Game 4.
Fedorov has yet to score a goal in this series, but he tied a club record with 4 assists in Game 2. As he tried to come in across the Winnipeg line, a chorus of boos comes out of the stands as he got involved with the linesman on the far side and lost the puck in the process. Solid hit put on Teppo Numminen. Here's a chance now for Dome, but it's whistled down, and there's a penalty call in the play. Behind the play with 14:54 remaining in the period.
The tough thing is to get down in this building, and you know, the best thing, of course, is you can get the lead like in Game 1, where you can keep the crowd out of it a little bit. Helps a lot.
And perhaps taking a cue from white noise in Winnipeg, I don't think I've seen as many red jerseys and red shirts inside the Joe Louis as there are here tonight. Jamnoff streaking down the left side, trying to go around Coffey. Coffey was able to get back and pick him up. Korolev leaves it there for Jamnoff. Korolev gets it back again. Yzerman is in there trying to steal it away from him. Korolev doing a good job of moving the puck along the boards. And now it's Coffey starting back for the Wings. 14:16 remaining in the first period. 1:20 in the penalty to Keith Tkachuk. Wings trying to set something up. Coffey at the point. Gets it across to Fedorov. His shot is blocked. It goes off Stapleton and ricochets out to center ice. The Jets change up on the penalty killing unit. Coffey remains out there on the power play for the Wings. Finlay gets control, and in clearing it, he banks it off the glass all the way down the ice. Going back after it is Shannon. He takes Fedorov in against the end board. King goes to the other corner. He got tied up, and Fedorov kicks it free now for Primo. Primo takes a hit at center ice. The Jets' Chris King gets the puck. He's knocked down, and he's hurt.
You got to worry about the knee of Chris King. He appears to be in an awful lot of pain on that ice, and it was one of those low body checks that took the legs out from underneath King. You can see not much question that he has been shaken up. No call on the play by Merwelli. We'll get a chance to see it right here. Here's the first hit. Muni on Primo, and it's like hitting a wall. Primo doesn't even go down. And watch King and keep an eye on the legs. You see, it's the right leg of Igor Larionov that makes knee-to-knee contact with Chris King, and King gets the worst of that exchange. He's making his way over to the locker room. I don't think Terry Simpson will be too pleased with the non-call by Merwelli. Again, the original hit, and watch as King comes in for the puck, and it's going to be knee-to-knee contact right there, and it's actually Fedosov that makes the hit on King. excuse me, not Fedosov, Sergei Fedorov.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets are already without Dallas Drake. He was injured in Game 3 of this series, and now Chris King has limped off to the dressing room. 33 seconds remaining in the Keith Tkachuk penalty. Fedosov takes the puck back of his own net.
Penalty killers doing a much better job of forcing the Red Wings in their own zone and not just allowing them easy access into the offensive zone.
Fedosov fires one wide. Lidstrom from the other point lets it go through traffic. The rebound, they bang away, and Happy Bullen managed to get to it. Loose puck in the Winnipeg zone. Muni couldn't clear. And finally, the Jets do get it out as Korolev dumps at the length of the ice, and Keith Tkachuk is now ready to step back in the ice. So the Jets have survived the first 2 penalties. And the Winnipeg Jets, Craig Janney feeds it ahead to Tkachuk. He was checked by Fedosov. Lidstrom comes back to pick up the puck. Tkachuk bumps him in against the boards. Primo has it now. Skates away from Olczyk. Can't take the puck with him. Kozlov was checked as he tried to work out. Now Primo throws it out to center ice. Picked up there by Fedorov. He circles back. Gives it to Lidstrom. Lidstrom dumps it softly down the ice. The Wings make a complete change.
You know, Winnipeg doing a much better job in this game. The gap is fairly tight between those Detroit forwards. They're having a tougher time attacking with speed early in this hockey game. That's a critical adjustment for Winnipeg to make.
Craig Janney at the blue line was looking for a breakaway pass from Olczyk, but it went over 2 lines offside Winnipeg.
Save, and boy, I think we've seen that one before where the forward falls in on top of the goalkeeper.
Happened in Toronto, and that took Grant Fuhr out of the postseason. Eastwood tried to shovel it through the middle. It was broken up there by Ramsey. A loose puck at center ice, and coming back to pick it up is Johnson. He feeds Ramsey. He moves it ahead to Konstantinov. Right wing pass too far for Johnson, and Happy Bullen will cover up with a Red Wing player right on top of him.
Let's take a look at some of the keys 2 or 3 times in this game already.
The Red Wings have also had a fair bit of success in the face-off circle. Kozlov works against Tkachuk. They tie each other up, and Umanen takes it back of his own net. Very quickly, McCarty is on him. That also appears to be a game plan of the Red Wings. Try and pressure the Jets' best defenseman, Teppo Numminen.
Teppo Numminen has had a pretty ring up into the offensive zone. I think that's a result of all the special attention the Red Wings have paid to him.
Numminen lost his stick with the puck in for goals and assists. But so far in the postseason, he has been shut out. Olczyk battling for the puck. Gets it again behind the net, threw it out front. Nobody in position. Tkachuk takes a swipe at it. Tkachuk goes back to the net, a wraparound try. Back at the point now. Finlay had some problems trying to control it, and finally it's picked up by the Wings, and they throw it out to center ice. 9:33 remaining in the opening period. No score here at the Joe Louis Arena. Game 5 of this series. The Red Wings attempting to wrap it up. The Jets trying to take it home for a 6th game on Sunday. Shannon was alone at the blue line, but couldn't handle the lead pass. Now he was looking for Tverdovsky back at the point, but the puck took a bounce over his stick and all the way back into Winnipeg territory.
But some good pressure by the Jets down low, and they've been finding people through the middle of the ice, and at times have split that Detroit defense.
And Shannon was straightened up at the blue line by Konstantinov. Lead pass for Larionov, gathered up by Newman, and he can't clear. Fedorov gets it back to Larionov. Newman gets into the play as well, tries to bang it up along the boards. Kept in by the Wings. Larionov trying to pick it up out of the air. Fedorov along the boards with Kozlov. It goes to the other side. Shannon at the tail end of a long shift flips it down the ice, and he goes to the bench on a change. 8:31 the time remaining in a still scoreless opening period here at the Joe Louis Arena. The third, a shot from the point, is held by Happy Bullen, and another face-off will take place in Winnipeg territory.
Shots on goal so far in this hockey game: 8 for the Red Wings, 0 for the Winnipeg Jets. So once again, that ice seems tilted in tonight's hockey game. Of course, the Red Wings have benefited from a couple of power plays early on. Happy Bullen maintains his brilliant performance. If not for him, this game perhaps already Could be 1 or 2-0.
Well, one of your keys for this hockey game, Brian, was for Habby Boulin to stand on his head. And in the opening period, he's been doing just that.
You know, Winnipeg has made a much more determined effort to stand up players in the neutral zone. But the Red Wings just attack with so much speed and so much talent up front. It's still quite often not enough. Detroit has not turned over too many pucks.
Jamnoff in forechecking for Winnipeg. He's tied up immediately by Konstantinov. Now Fedorov moves it over to Larionov. Dumped out to center ice by Fedosov, but he can't go anywhere with it. Now it's Korolev. He's checked as he tries to work in. Finlay from the point with a shot that didn't get through. Lead pass intercepted by Korolev. Korolev got to the line and he was knocked down. Back come the Red Wings. It's Kozlov in across the line, dumping it to the corner. Back after it goes McIver. Kozlov was knocked down. The fans react. Dave Manson, who dished out the check on Kozlov, but he may have been high stick by Kozlov as he went down. Now it's Fraser out there for Winnipeg. He plays it cross ice to Korolev. Korolev will dump it in. He ran into Marawelli as he was making his way off to the Winnipeg bench.
Things going pretty much the way I think Terry Simpson would have liked them to in this hockey game, although there's been a territorial advantage for the Red Wings. They haven't been able to take the lead so far.
As the captain of the Winnipeg Jets, and he's used sparingly at times. He's a penalty killer, and they are going to miss that aspect of his game as this 5th game progresses here at the Joe Louis Arena.
Well, the other element, of course, is that people will have to step up and assume the position of King, and that means a lot of the youngsters on that Winnipeg bench are going to have to log more minutes. We expect to see Shane Doan and Chad Kilger perhaps spend a little bit more time on the ice than perhaps Simpson would want them to do in this kind of high pressure situation. Konstantinov always a factor. There he lines up Igor Korolev, catches Korolev with his head down in the neutral zone. Bad Vlad always seems to have a pretty significant impact on every hockey game for the Red Wings.
A bouncing puck at the blue line. Eastwood stepped into Ramsey as the puck was deflected into the Red Wing bench.
Mike Eastwood, another fellow who's a grinding type of player, hasn't really been able to put the bodies on those white shirts that he would certainly like to. Eastwood's a guy that Simpson has out there to take a lot of defensive zone faceoffs. Another area that the Red Wings have clearly dominated in this series.
Eastwood is still looking for his first point of the postseason. He's out there with Doan and Shannon. McIver is forced to drop it back to Dave Manson. Manson throws it up the middle. It bounced off Bob Airy. Airy tried to chop it out and succeeded when it was brought in offside by Darren Shannon.
You know, the number of whistles certainly won't hurt the Winnipeg Jets, that's for sure, because you really want to slow down the flow and any momentum that Detroit has built up in this hockey game. There you see Paul Coffey's regular defense partner, Bergevin. Marawelli, for the most part, I think has called a pretty good game so far, and he's just kind of let the players play the hockey game. There have been some elbows and some slashes away from the play, and Marawelli's just kind of looked the other way, and I think that's wise. I mean, this, after all, is playoff hockey.
When we talked with Marawelli today, he said he was going to have an afternoon nap because he was still a little weary after that marathon in Washington the other night between Pittsburgh and the Capitals.
When you think about it, the officials don't get a break. Marawelli stayed out there for 7 consecutive periods almost.
A delayed offside call at the Winnipeg line. 6:33 remaining in the first period. As you said, Brian, the Jets won't mind all the whistles as that slows down the game, and the Red Wings have been trying to take advantage of their speed, and it has been a killer for the Winnipeg Jets in 3 of the 4 games.
Scotty Bowman surveying the situation. Certainly Scotty likes the officials to get more involved in a hockey game. In fact, he often remarks on how he thinks some of the senior linesmen out on the ice should have a little bit more authority and be able to make calls away from the play. He's been lobbying for that at the National Hockey League level. As of yet, of course, there has been no response.
We talked about Dino Ciccarelli breaking his nose in practice yesterday. Paul Coffey broke his nose in Game 2 here at the Joe Louis Arena when he caught an errant elbow from Craig Janney. But Coffey never missed a shift. They straightened his nose out, and he went right back out. The same thing with Dino Ciccarelli. Immediately after breaking his nose yesterday, he asked the trainer to straighten it out. He said it was painful, it hurt, but better now than later.
Yeah, Dino said, as well as Paul Coffey, he said, we'll find out how good Johnny Wharton is when the swelling goes down. Just kind of laughed it off, and he said, hey, it was just one of those days at practice the other day.
And then he got into a bit of a skirmish with Stu Grimson, and that would have been a mismatch. Very quickly, teammates stepped between them.
Well, I love that. It kind of demonstrates the intensity that Ciccarelli has and the passion that he has for the game. You know, some players lose that with advancing age. Certainly Ciccarelli has not.
A deflection handled by Happy Bullen. Jets are being pressured in their own zone again, and all Tkachuk could do was try and bank it off the boards and out. Now it's Chris Draper winding up and firing it in along the boards. Shannon let it go, and it slides all the way down the ice. And another icing call against Winnipeg with 5:47 remaining in the first.
A little bit of a communications problem there. Shannon had a lot more time, but his teammates, he was right by his own bench, and nobody was yelling to him to say, you've got some time, hold on to that puck. Shannon heard footsteps, and he just rifled it down the ice. The Jets, one of the other things that they need to get in this hockey game, they need to get a couple of breaks. If you go over the series so far, you can't really say that the breaks have gone the way of the Winnipeg Jets. They need to get some production from their grinders or their plumbers. That has not happened. And perhaps it'll take a lucky goal on the power play. They've yet to score a goal that bounces in off a leg or a skate. They need everything going their way because this Red Wings club is performing just exactly like you would have expected them to. This club's, I guess, juggernaut comes to mind. They have all the tools and all the talent necessary to win the whole thing.
Fedosov to Kozlov. It's held by Happy Bullen. Tkachuk won the last one. They scramble this one. Coffey gets it over to the other side. Weak shot from the point, and again it's held by Happy Bullen. 9-1 the shots on goal favoring Detroit. Now let's involved in the community. But I'm sure he'll be in the dressing room between periods talking to the players as they come off the ice. Here's Draper working his way in. Primo goes after the puck behind the net. He's bumped there by McIver. He goes down. Dave Manson skates away with it. 4:42 remaining in the first period. Manson tried to flip it high. Here's the lead pass and a breakaway. Ciccarelli going in over to Primo. He's denied by Happy Bullen.
What an incredible save by Happy Bullen. The pass across. Looked like Primo had the wide open net staring him, and Happy Bullen just does not quit on the play.
Well, you've made that comment before that Happy Bullen will not quit even when it appears to be most desperate, and that time it certainly appeared he was in a desperate situation, but he took it away from Primo.
Well, one other comment, an inexcusable turnover by Dave Manson in the neutral zone. You can't get cute against the Red Wings. Those pucks have got to go deep.
Jamnov tried to cut around Fedosov, was knocked down. Konstantinov has it. He has Fraser on top of him, but is able to free it. Kozlov streaks down the left side, going in alone. He fired it wide. Happy Bullen stood his ground again. Oh boy, has he put on a goaltending show in this first period.
Well, this has been a clinic for Nikolai Happy Bullen. The Red Wings have dominated play from the start, but Happy Bullen just continues to stand tall. He's keeping his club alive in this series.
Louis Arena, the only reason the Red Wings don't have the lead is the play of Nikolai Happy Bullen. He has been brilliant in this opening period, and if the Jets are going to take this series back to Winnipeg, he will have to continue playing that way. Chuck races after the puck. He's held up by Coffey, manages to get it, tried to center, and it was blocked. Neverdowski couldn't handle the clearing attempt at the point. Back after it goes Olczyk. And at this time, we say hello to viewers who have been watching the game between Montreal and New York here at the Joe Louis Arena. I'm Don Whitman along with Brian Hayward and Scott Oak. No score in the hockey game. It's been all Detroit. And there's Bob Airy with a chance and another big save by Nikolai Habibulin. And for those viewers who have just joined us, he has been absolutely brilliant in this opening period.
Habibulin has been incredible, and at times he has been doing it all by himself. The Red Wings off of the neutral zone turnovers, attack with speed. Here's the last chance. Keith Primo robbed by Habibulin on a 2-on-0 breakaway. Primo yet to score in this series, but you can't put the blame squarely on his shoulders because Habibulin has made several highlight film variety saves already. Dave Manson turning that puck over in the neutral zone. It's been a nightmare in this hockey game, at least for Dave Manson.
The Winnipeg Jets had to survive a couple of early penalties. Mike Stapleton and Keith Tkachuk were in the box when the Red Wings were able to generate a fair bit of first period offense. 10-1, the shots on goal favoring the Red Wings. 2:47 remaining in this opening period. 3-1, the Red Wings lead in this series. 11 times in the last 9 years, teams that have been down 3-1 in a series have been able to bounce back, and the Winnipeg Jets are fully aware of teams' ability to come from behind because they lost to Vancouver in '92 when they led 3-1, and 1990 to Edmonton when they led 3-1.
There's Slava Kozlov. You know, he popped off in the paper about how he would beat Nikolai Habibulin. He said, give this guy a fake and he'll hit the ground early, and then I'll just walk around him. Well, he couldn't have more time than that one. He put the fake on him. Habibulin didn't buy it. He just stood his ground, and Kozlov eventually ran out of not only time but space as well.
Kozlov scored a power play goal in game 4 in Winnipeg. The only goal he has scored so far in the series. Johnson moves it ahead to Lidstrom. He is stopped at the line. Eastwood trying to move the puck past Lidstrom. It comes out to Shane Doan. Doan centering for Shannon. Shannon tried to throw it out front, broken up by Ramsey. Doan gets it in front for Eastwood, and a big save by Chris Osgood. That's his best save of the game.
It's really the only difficult save for Chris Osgood so far. We've almost played 18 minutes of this first period, and that's tough for a goaltender to stay ready and stay sharp when you're not getting much work. Good cross-ice pass by Shane Doan, and right on the doorstep, Osgood just comes sliding across. Here it is from the net cam. Watch the push off the right foot. He slams the door and clicks those ankles together and takes away the 5-hole from Mike Eastwood. That's a brilliant save by Osgood. Denies the Jets any kind of momentum.
Well, here in Detroit for the past 48 hours, there has been a lot of discussion about the Red Wing goaltending situation. Chris Osgood played the first 2 games, Mike Vernon the next 2. I really think that was Scotty's plan all along. He felt that the more experienced Vernon would be able to cope with the noisy crowd in Winnipeg better than Chris Osgood.
The other half of that equation as well is the Detroit fans are an awful lot more forgiving with Chris Osgood than they are with Mike Vernon.
Wraparound attempt stopped by Habibulin. Konstantinov looks over to the far wing, picked up there by Draper. Draper tried to leave it for Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli looking back to the point for Fedosov. The puck loose along the boards. Jets still can't get it out. And again, Habibulin will have to cover it up. Keith Primo was driving hard to the front of the Winnipeg net as Habibulin held onto the puck with 1:23 remaining in this first period.
Well, Primo's been a tough guy to handle. He just hasn't been able to finish in this series. But he continues to drive to the net. That's exactly what Bowman expects from him. You know, if you think of the Red Wings as a whole, they don't have an awful lot of size up front. So Scotty Bowman puts the extra pressure on McCarty and Primo to be his guys that assume that role. He wants them to back up that Winnipeg defense as much as possible and use those big frames to back everybody off.
Jumina gets it in his own zone. Lead pass for Olczyk. Janney couldn't get it past Kozlov. goes back after it. Fedorov is on him very quickly. Now it's Olczyk trying to bank it off the boards for Craig Janney. He comes in with Tkachuk. He stopped at the line, and as it's brought in by Newman, it's offside Winnipeg. 52.9 seconds left in the
travel problems getting into Detroit, and as a result didn't have a skate yesterday, and that can work both ways. I think at this juncture of the season, in the playoffs rather, it's not all that important that you do get your practice time in. I thought that at least at the morning skate today, the Jets appeared to have a little bit more jump in their legs than they have had in the past little while.
Kozlov's shot is blocked, picked up by Fedorov. Looking for Kozlov. Now Fedosov manages to keep it in. He takes a return pass at the point. He's taken in against the boards. Kozlov comes in to help out. Craig Muni has Larionov on him immediately. It seems every time the Winnipeg Jets touch the puck in their own zone, there's a Red Wing jersey there to cover them. Tkachuk trying to get away from Konstantinov, throws it back to the line. Nobody in position. Doan couldn't keep it onside, and the final seconds of the period will tick harmlessly away.
Well, it was another dominant performance by the Detroit Red Wings. 7 high. Chris King is out. Chad Kilger did not see a lot of ice time, nor did Shane Doan or Ian Fraser in the first 20. We'll watch for that as this game unfolds.
Tkachuk is after Konstantinov. Puck is left there for Fedosov as he tried to make the play. It slides all the way down the ice. Javi Bulin is back to play it. And he has Fedorov throwing some ice chips in his face as he goes well out of the net to freeze the puck and gets a shower of snow.
Javi Bulin is very fortunate that Marwelli does not call a delay a game penalty, and I think Marwelli's providing the explanation right here. The time used to be that a goaltender was not allowed to freeze that puck if he didn't have 1 foot in the goal crease, and I think this is one of those situations where the Russian goalie gets the benefit of the doubt from the officials. He's well out beyond the face-off dot. That perhaps should have been a call by Marwelli. He's cutting him a huge break here.
You had an interesting first period stat about the number of face-offs in the Winnipeg zone as opposed to the Detroit end of the ice.
Well, it is one indication of territorial advantage. There were 17 face-offs in the Winnipeg defensive zone, only 1 Detroit's end of the rink.
There's another in the Winnipeg zone. Coffey from the point, his shot right on, and now Newmanen gathers it up, and Newmanen is knocked down by McCarty. It appears as though the Red Wings are intent on finishing every check on Teppo Newmanen. Jamnov leaves it back of the net. Back after it goes Bergevin. McCarty works his way in against Manson. The puck slides to the corner. McIver goes in after it. He's taken in against the end boards. Picked up now by Korolev. He throws it rink wide in his own zone. Manson can't get it out. Back of the net. Yzerman is checked. Puck comes loose along the boards, and the Jets start away, led by Jamnov. Jamnov gains the line. Drop pass. McIver shot right on, and that's held by goaltender Chris Osgood.
Again, the Red Wings doing a tremendous job of holding that blue line. They don't back in on Chris Osgood, and as a result, when the Jets do unload that puck, it's from well out, and Osgood can usually see it as well. And Jamnov, who was a force in games 1, 2, or 3, had a quiet game 4, is really yet to get on track. Now he's got himself a new winger with the absence of Chris King.
Nicklas Lidstrom had a career high 67 points, 37 points on the power play for the Red Wings. He has 3 assists so far in this series.
Was another point shot through traffic. You see Newmanen takes a wave at that puck. Goaltenders don't like that. The point shots, they'd rather you get the heck out of the way so that you can see it and make the routine save look routine.
Jets make a change back in the blue line from the faceoff. Tverdovsky attempted to jump up into the play, but the Red Wings are able to drive it out. Now it's Janney trying to set up Keith Tkachuk, broken up by the wings. Draper gets to the line. He's stopped there by Craig Muni. Tkachuk takes Lidstrom in against the boards. Lidstrom continues to battle for the loose puck. It comes free to Olczyk. Olczyk is hammered by Mike Ramsey as Draper goes back to pick up the loose puck. Over to Primo on the fly, trying to work through the slot. Lost control of it. Picked up by Draper. Draper was checked by Tkachuk, and Tkachuk trying to dump it out, put it out of play in the neutral zone. Draper got tangled up there with Mike Eastwood, and Eastwood went down. No penalty call on the play. The faceoff back in the Winnipeg zone.
Scotty Bowman has got to be awfully pleased with the way his team has performed. You mentioned they haven't missed too many checks out there on the ice. That time you saw Mike Ramsey really step up it. But it's that ability of the Red Wing defense to step up and force the issue, and was all that involved in it. And part of that is the fact that Newman has not joined in the offensive attack, and you've got to give an awful lot of the credit to the Red Wings for that. No question he's been targeted in this series.
We've played 2 minutes of the second period. Doan steals the puck, can't go anywhere with it. It would have been offside anyway. Doan played the game on Tuesday night in Winnipeg, then made a quick trip home. Death in the family. His grandfather passed away, and he rejoined the team yesterday in Detroit. The Jets had not scheduled to skate on Wednesday because of their travel delay yesterday. They did not get here till late in the afternoon. They decided to pass in the practice. Terry Simpson, in talking about the 2 days off the ice, said sometimes it can work to your advantage.
Well, I think it definitely can, especially when you throw playoff pressure into the mix. Sometimes it's just good to get away from the game, and dare I say it, Don, but get away from the media as well.
Konstantinov flips it high off the glass in Winnipeg territory. Larionov is in forechecking. Puck goes back to the net, taken there by Newman. Newman whips it off the glass down the ice. Racing back after it is Konstantinov. He gets there ahead of Zhamnov. Konstantinov over to Fedorov. Fedorov has played a physical hockey game tonight. He's dished out a couple of solid body checks. One on Newman, and his hit on Chris King put the Winnipeg captain out of the hockey game. Now Newman looking down the left side for Fraser. It was beyond him. Fraser goes after it. Taken in against the boards by Konstantinov, and now the Red Wings cough it up. A pass for Fraser. He tried to get it back for Zhamnov, and it was intercepted, and the Wings start back. Fedorov breaking down the right side, going hard to the net. He's taken out of the play by Newman, and the puck comes out to center ice. Banked off the boards for Korolev. Racing up is Finlay. Korolev shoots. The rebound picked up in the corner by Bergevin, and the Jets have shown a little more offense here in this second period.
Well, this game in general has just opened right up. Both clubs skating the full length of the ice with plenty of room to the neutral zone.
Kozlov back of the net. 2 players out front, but it bounced away from Larionov, and it's dumped down the ice by Winnipeg. Eastwood gets the loose puck, and that was blocked before it got to the net. Doan keeps it onside. Behind the net goes Shannon. Shannon throwing it into the crease. Kicked away by Osgood, and the Wings break out. 16-13 remaining in the second period. Still no score in the hockey game. McIver bumps with Coffey. Bergevin from the point has his shot blocked. And the Jets break out 3-on-2. 3 Red Wings trying to get back into the play. It's left there for Mike Eastwood. He flips a backhander, gets it again. Now it's Shannon with a shot. He scores! Darren Shannon has given the Jets a 1-0 lead. The persistence of Mike Eastwood and Shane Doan is rewarded as the puck came free to Darren Shannon for a 1-0 lead.
Oh, what a huge goal for the Winnipeg Jets. And they get the turnover in the Detroit defensive zone that they have been trying to force. They came out in this second period, Don. They started to lay the body on. When you lay the body on, sometimes you do get that turnover. It's exactly what happened. Shannon's first goal of the postseason for Winnipeg. Let's see how it works. It's Paul Coffey handling the puck. The pressure from Mike Eastwood. Eastwood just kind of forces that puck into the middle of the ice, and it's a good, quick shot. Darren Shannon on the short side. Perfect shot, about 1.5 feet off the post and in.
And after making the play, Eastwood also did a good job of going to the net to screen Chris Osgood. 15:42 remaining in the second period. Darren Shannon has staked Winnipeg to a 1-goal lead.
Shot.
Ramsey moves it along the boards for McCarty. He knocks it ahead. Here's Yzerman trying to break in. Yzerman is hauled down. Penalty against the Winnipeg Jets.
Well, this one's going to go against Craig Muni. Muni not blessed with an awful lot of speed. And Yzerman right up through the center of the ice gets a good pass. I don't think Muni has much choice but to pull Yzerman down in that situation. The other factor, of course, is that Oleg Tverdovsky, who does possess the good wheels, perhaps had the angle on Yzerman. And I still believe that Oleg Tverdovsky, who does not say an awful lot of things out on the ice in terms of communicating with his defense partner, perhaps if he had given the yell to Craig Muni, Muni would have relaxed a little bit on the hook, and Oleg might have been able to get to him.
I talked with Steve Yzerman this morning about possible participation in this summer's World Cup. He's still undecided. I think the fact that he was dropped from the team in 2 previous Canada Cup experiences might be influencing his thinking somewhat.
Well, I would guess so. You said it, Don. Not once, but twice. That's got to leave a bit of a bad taste in your mouth. But it's going to be a long season for the Red Wings, as everybody suspects, so I'm sure he'll wait to make any decision until the playoffs for the Red Wings are over.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets would like to make it a short season for the Red Wings, and at the moment they lead by a score of 1-0. Red Wings on the power play. They had 4 power play goals in Game 4, tying the club record. Here's a chance now for the Winnipeg Jets as the play was broken up by Zhamnov at the blue line. Fedorov is forced to circle back. He gets it over to Coffey. Coffey almost had it picked off. Fedorov was in the process of retrieving his glove, and Zhamnov almost knocked it past him. Cicerelli, who led the team in shots in the first period with 4, dumps it to the corner. Yzerman goes back to the net, tried to get it to Cicerelli, and it was broken up neatly by Numminen. 1:14 remaining in the penalty to Craig Muni. Paul Coffey stopped by Teppo Numminen. Shannon, who has scored the game's only goal in a battle along the boards. It comes free to Fedorov. He fakes the shot. Now it's picked up by Numminen. Numminen couldn't clear. But Darren Shannon will get an opportunity. He banks it off the board. Stapleton is racing after it. Stapleton goes back to the net. He didn't realize Tverdovsky was in position right in the goal crease. Boy, if he'd have thrown that one out front immediately, Tverdovsky was uncovered.
I think Stapleton was a little bit surprised to see Oleg Tverdovsky jumping up in the play in the shorthanded situation. He made his mind up, or made his decision what to do with his puck rather than evaluate the play.
Kozlov has it. Fedorov moves it across ice. Here's a shot through traffic that is handled by Harry Boulin. Winnipeg Jets gain control, but they can't get it out. They'll get another chance. Tverdovsky couldn't knock it past Fedorov. Fedorov has had another strong game. Shot from the point, redirected. They bang away loose in front of the net. It's kicked out of the goal. Oh, what a good play by Zhamnov as that puck appeared to be heading for the line, and he kept it out. Winnipeg Jets back at full strength as Muni steps out of the penalty box. There's a shot off the side of the net.
Harry Boulin again, absolutely fantastic, and I think Morelli has got to do something because the Red Wing forwards are just hanging all over Nikolai.
Stapleton takes it to safety behind his own net. Now he tries to ring it around the boards, and this time he succeeds in getting it out as the Jets make a complete change. Here's a lead pass for Brown. Stopped by Harry Boulin. And the Winnipeg net comes off its supports.
The Red Wings almost tied this hockey game.
That was the play before the Brown breakaway. Lidstrom calls for the puck. All sorts of traffic again in front of Harry Boulin. That's Cicerelli trying to set up shop. Yzerman works his way to the corner. And there's going to be another Winnipeg penalty. I think Stapleton is getting it. Lidstrom shoots. Rebound steered wide. At the side of the net, it's fired wide. Finally, it's touched by Numminen, and the whistle goes. 22 remaining in the Tkachuk penalty. Mike Stapleton is, I believe, heading off to the penalty box. Or is he?
It's going to be a high sticking call against someone. You saw Morelli go. Always wonder about that. Why is it so important that there be blood drawn? I mean, you've seen a lot more vicious high sticks where there is no blood. It's a 2-minute minor penalty for high sticking.
Puck along the boards in the Winnipeg zone. Yzerman working against Numminen. He rips it around the boards. Lidstrom moves in. Now gives to Yzerman. Over to Fedorov at the side of the net. Larionov trying to set it up. 5 against 3. Here's Fedorov with the shot. It goes wide. Lidstrom at the point. Over to Fedorov. Fedorov into Yzerman. Back to Lidstrom. He one-times it. The save made and the puck knocked down the ice by Zhamnov. 40 seconds in the two-man advantage. Larionov now for Lidstrom. Lidstrom throws it in. Off the end boards. Picked up by Larionov. Larionov back to Fedorov. Over to Lidstrom. Back to Fedorov. His shot goes off Zhamnov's leg, and Zhamnov felt that one. Now it's Fedorov from the point to Lidstrom. He faked the shot. In front. They score! Deflected by Cicerelli.
Shown by the Red Wings in the 5-on-3 situation, and fatigue will play a factor in this goal. Watch Jeff Finley. He's going to leave his feet. When he goes down, the Red Wings just move that puck around, and that's why Cicerelli is so wide open in front of the goal. The Cardinals sin for the penalty killers in the 5-on-3 to leave their feet unless that puck is being shot from directly in the slot area. Finley gets drawn out of position, and the Jets get beaten on the pass. Dino Cicerelli just taps that puck between the pads of Nikolai Khabibulin.
And the crowd at the Joe Loup is now into it with the power play goal by Dino Cicerelli.
Number of penalties levied against his team compared against the Detroit Red Wings.
Red Wings with the man advantage. Larionov gained the line, but it was offside. Yzerman coming down the left wing was slightly ahead of the play. Larionov really had a strong game in Game 4 in Winnipeg.
Well, Larionov, again, one of the most intelligent hockey players you'll ever see. In fact, Paul Coffey said this year, you know, I've played with both Gretzky and Larionov, and they really are so similar, not only in size and stature, but the way that they skate and handle the puck. They have that ability to think 1 or 2 steps ahead of the play, almost like a good billiard player. Have that sixth sense about him. Can control the tempo of a hockey game.
He's got the puck now. He leaves it there for Fedorov. Yzerman gets it back to the line. Lidstrom takes a shot right on. Darren Shannon takes his time. Now he drives it down the ice with 3:06 remaining in the 5-minute major. Fedorov is back after. Fedorov got to the line. Manson lost the stick. He was able to get it back. Fedorov shot right on the loose puck in front, and Zhamnov will take his time before dumping it down the ice.
Kind of surprised with Cicerelli. Everyone knows he's got that broken nose, and he's spending so much time in front of that crease area that somebody hasn't taken a swat at him yet.
I think someone early might have put their face into the, or glove into the face of Dino Cicerelli. Cicerelli in the corner, comes up with it. He moves it back to the line. Fedorov across to the other side. Fedosov with a shot, rebound, and that's cleared by Zhamnov. Zhamnov's doing an excellent job in the penalty killing role.
He certainly is, but it's not the role that Simpson really wants him to excel at. Remarkable play down low as well by Teppo Numminen, doing a good job protecting the front of the crease area.
Long shoot-in is held by Khabibulin with 2:02 remaining in the 5-minute major.
You know, Numminen is a guy, it looks to me like he doesn't have a lot left in those legs. Terry Simpson again forced into a position where he has to use Numminen in the penalty killing role. And of course that just gasses him and makes him so much more ineffective the opposite end of the rink. But the unfortunate thing for Simpson is he really doesn't have any other options at this point. Here's Dino's work down in front of that crease area. One of the things that's very effective, see what Dino does? He keeps his feet in the crease area until the critical moment when he moves back out in front of the net. And what that does is it actually forces the goaltender to back up just a half step.
Fedosov now dishes it off to Kozlov. This time it's Primo setting up shop in front of the net. The Winnipeg Jets' Darren Shannon is able to clear. Jets were unable to survive the two-man disadvantage. Now they're attempting to kill off the 5-minute major to Mike Stapleton. McCarty rings it around the boards. Kozlov is checked. Who gets the puck, takes a return pass, looks towards the front of the net. Primo trying to jam away. The puck is loose, and Khabibulin dives on top of it.
Keith Primo again with that big reach of his. He gets his body set up in front of the goaltender, but he can still control passes that are a good 5 to 7 feet away from his body, and he's such a strong guy that he quickly can pull it right into the crease area. Look again, you see 2 white jerseys down in front of Khabibulin and only 1 Winnipeg defender, because the Jets get set up in that diamond box. Only 1 player down in the crease area. The reason why they're trying to do that is to keep the point shots from being so accessible to the Red Wings. When you do that, the front of the net becomes a little bit more vulnerable for that quick pass down low.
1:22 left in the 5-minute major. Puck is caught up in skates. Jamnov now gets it over to Teppo Numminen. He's going to log an awful lot of ice time tonight.
He already has. Newman's got to be well over 20 minutes so far. We're really halfway through the game.
Fedorov has also logged a lot of ice time, but in an offensive capacity. Here's Larionov now trying to set it up back to the line. Fedorov being watched by Jamnov, forced to dump it in. Larionov to Yzerman. Yzerman gets it back to the line. Fedorov's one-timer goes off a skate. Picked up in the corner by Cicerelli. For Larionov out front. Yzerman couldn't get a shot away. Jets unable to clear. Lidstrom with a shot. That hit the post. In the slot. Shot by Yzerman, kicked out by Khabibulin. Now here's Lidstrom. Sliding it into the corner to Yzerman. Yzerman looks in front for Cicerelli. Yzerman centered it. And a save by Khabibulin as it came right through to Larionov. 15 seconds remaining in the Stapleton major.
You know, you have to admire the puck control of that Detroit power play. They're so patient with it. They got 5 gifted puck handlers, all with their heads up and just waiting for those seams to open up for the cross-ice pass, and then bang, all of a sudden they bring it right down into the crease area.
Stolen at center ice by Shannon. Gilger out of the penalty box. He had been serving the 5-minute major. This could give the Jets a huge lift, the fact that they were able to kill this 5-minute major. Now it's Tkachuk. Trying to slide it back to the point, and it went between the 2 defensemen all the way down the ice. Laid around the boards by Khabibulin, cut off by Taylor. Back to the net for Brown. Centering attempt, cut by Olczyk. He tries to ring it around the other way, and it comes off the back of the net to Manson. Manson moves it ahead to Olczyk. He slips it through to Janney. Back to Olczyk. His shot goes wide. Olczyk knocked down in front of the net, and there's going to be a Red Wing penalty. So the Winnipeg Jets will have a power play with 6:26 remaining in the second.
Slew foots himself. Morelli makes the even-up call.
McIver from the point. Over to Jamnov. Jamnov shoots, looking for the short side. Puck loose along the boards. Tkachuk fights for it. Manages to free it for Jamnov. Jamnov back to the point. McIver over to Numminen. Back to McIver. Jamnov to McIver. McIver fakes the shot over to Numminen. McIver at the point. Faked it. Now in deep for Janney. Back to Numminen. To the point to McIver. Good puck movement. No shots. There's one. It goes wide. Now it's Jamnov moving in. Takes his time. Throws it in front of the net, and it bounces off the leg out into the neutral zone.
You know, I'm watching the work of Mike Ramsey down in front of Chris Osgood. Tkachuk is just screaming at Morelli. Ramsey had a better hold on that hockey stick of Tkachuk than I think the Jets captain did.
Left back of the net, but Ramsey rings it around the boards. Cut off by Tverdovsky. For Jamnov, he couldn't control it, and it slipped down the ice by the wings. 52 seconds remaining in the penalty. 5:15 left in the period. Red Wings in forechecking. Manson gets it across to Korolev. He almost lost it under pressure from Fedorov. Now it's Olczyk dumping it down the ice. Osgood plays it around the other way, picked up by the Wings, and Brown will clear.
You talk about dumping the puck and what Terry Simpson would like his players to do, especially on the power play. He would prefer that they rim that puck in hard around the boards and get two guys going down the opposite side to recover it.
Stone races after it. Korolev goes into the corner against Lidstrom. Jets gain control. Olczyk attempted to center, got it back again. Korolev leaves it in the corner for goal. 3 seconds remaining on the Winnipeg power play. Centered by Winnipeg, but it's intercepted. Fedosov is back on the ice. And now it's dumped in by Taylor with 4:18 remaining in the second.
Winnipeg gets the puck in a good position behind the Detroit net, but they got no people in front of the goal.
Primo works his way to the corner. Leaves it back to the net for Yzerman to McCarty. McCarty taken off the play by Dave Manson. Tverdovsky picks it up, and the Winnipeg net was dislodged with 3:58 remaining in the second period and a 1-1 tie.
Offensive zone faceoffs have been taken by the Winnipeg Jets. Detroit Red Wings only 3.
This one is won by Winnipeg, and the Jets moved it out to the neutral zone, but Fraser couldn't accept the lead pass to Winnipeg. Jets go down. Here's a pass for Yzerman. Yzerman, a backhand shot, the rebound, and a save by Happy Bullen. McCarty had raced up behind Yzerman and took a swipe at it, but Happy Bullen made another incredible stop. McCarty centered it, nobody in position. Humanen starts away for Winnipeg. He shoots it into the corner. Shannon goes after him. He takes Konstantinov in against the end boards. It's picked up by Fedosov. Fedosov threw it up to the line. Cut off there by Dave Manson. And at this time, we say hello to the viewers who have been watching action between the Rangers and the Canadiens here at the Joe Louis Arena. It's Winnipeg 1 and Detroit 1. A power play goal by Dino Ciccarelli for the Red Wings after Darren Shannon had scored for Winnipeg. And now another Winnipeg penalty with Dave Manson going to the box. It was a 5-on-3 situation when Ciccarelli scored the tying goal, and the Jets are in penalty trouble again with Manson going off.
That's a roughing call again against Dave Manson. It's a retaliation penalty. Manson's going to take a real good hit from Konstantinov just seconds before this, and then he gives a little bit of a face wash to Keith Primo. That's what Morelli makes the call on. Certainly you can't afford to do this. Winnipeg, so fortunate to be in a 1-1 hockey game. Here's the hit by Konstantinov on Manson. That's what kind of got him upset in the first place, but you just can't afford to take these kinds of penalties. It's been all Detroit. They've spent so much time on the power play. If not for the brilliance of Nikolai Habibulin, the Red Wings would have a 5-goal advantage in this game.
The Red Wings, through the first 4 games of this series, averaged 34 shots on goal. They've already had 30 on Nikolai Habibulin. Winnipeg with just 7.
And for those of you that don't lend a lot of credence to the shots on goal, I'll tell you right now that of the 30 shots, 20 of them have been point blank.
Quality scoring opportunity. At the point, Fedorov gets it. Being watched by Zhamnov. Fedorov through traffic towards the net, and Habibulin makes the save, and the rebound is clear.
You know, I think the Red Wings are really trying to exploit the fact that they've got Oleg Tverdovsky down low, killing the penalty. Not the defenseman that Simpson would normally like to use in that specific role. He'd rather go with his experienced guys, but he's kind of forced into it. A very short bench for Terry Simpson, down 3-1 in this series.
Yzerman being watched along the boards, throws it into the corner. Yzerman gets it again. Yzerman moves in, and another save by Habibulin, and the puck is deflected over the glass, out of play with 55 seconds left in the power play.
On the goal that was scored by Dino Ciccarelli in playoffs.
1:55 is the time remaining in the second period in a 1-1 tie, and that man is the reason this game is deadlocked at 1.
Well, he's been incredible, and it looks like he's having fun out there. That's the most amazing part. Again, a pattern that we've seen in this hockey game. Those point men just throw that puck into the crease area. They've got the outman situation down low. But look at the time that Yzerman has here to walk right in below the faceoff dot. Khabibulin aggressively challenging well beyond the goal crease.
Primo and Tkachuk in the face-off circle. Primo ties up Tkachuk. The puck is loose. The Jets gain control and clear. Well, if the Winnipeg Jets can come out of this period deadlocked at 1, I think they'll be quite happy, particularly after they survived that 5-minute major. It was a 5-on-3. The Red Wings got the tying goal.
I feel like I'm watching game 1 of this series, Don. The Red Wings totally dominate the first 2 periods. Can't get the lead in the hockey game and then take control in the third.
Here's Kozlov back to the point. There's the shot by Konstantinov. Korolev along the boards having some problems. The puck is in his skates. It comes free. Zhamnov plays it back to Finlay, and he'll flip it down the ice. Just 10 seconds remaining in the Dave Manson penalty. 1:07 now in the second period. Konstantinov leading the rush for the Wings. He winds up. That one just trickles wide. Oh, it got past Khabibulin. The Jets are back at full strength, and it just went wide. Tverdovsky was looking for Manson going down the right side. He missed him with the pass, and it's icing against Winnipeg.
Need to do if they're going to have a chance to stay alive is they need to get a few breaks, and that time, for the first time perhaps, Khabibulin did get a break. That slap shot from Konstantinov had him beat through the pads, but he got the good bounce.
Tverdovsky has Draper on him immediately. 2 excellent skaters battling for the puck up along the boards for Olczyk, and he's able to chop it out. 36 seconds remaining in the period. Now it's picked up by Tverdovsky. He had to wait for Jani to get onside, and apparently he didn't wait long enough.
Red Wings again keep stacking people up at that blue line, and Winnipeg not attacking as a group. Let's go back and see that last shot by Vladimir Konstantinov, and the good break this time for Nikolai Khabibulin. Konstantinov from just inside the blue line, a little bit of an overreaction by the goaltender. That's what happens when that puck goes in between the pads. That time, however, Nikolai gets the good break.
What's that old saying about goaltenders? You have to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good.
No question, Khabibulin certainly has been good.
Going to be a penalty here as Keith Tkachuk took a shot to the head coming through the neutral zone, and Chris Draper will be going off.
It's a good call by Merwelli. Draper gets the stick up high. Scotty Bowman send his penalty killers out on the ice. They really have not been severely tested in this game. Let's take a look at it. Tkachuk angling back into the neutral zone. You see that Draper tries to take a run at him, gets the elbow and the stick up high. We talked about it before the game that Winnipeg power play has not produced a goal in this series. Here's the opportunity for them right here to change the momentum around in this hockey game.
They managed just 1 shot on their previous power play. They're 0 for 21 in the series. The only other team in the postseason that failed to score a power play goal, eliminated in 4 straight, and that, of course, the Calgary Flames.
And I guess you could say if there was one bad thing about the Jets not being able to practice for the last 2 days, it would be that you would imagine that Terry Simpson would have put some time in on working in the power play, or, you know, a little bit differently perhaps. Nikolai Khabibulin, the story in this hockey game, it has been all Red Wings.
Teppo Numminen has Fedorov on him quickly. Now it's Tkachuk for Jani. Tried to leave it there for Zhamnov. It bounced in across the line offside. There was no score position to only 8 shots. That was a game against the Calgary Flames. Numminen keeps the puck in the zone. Lidstrom will again try and clear. Cut off by Tkachuk. Back at the point. Numminen tried to slide it across. It was intercepted. Brown breaking down the wing is cut off by Numminen. Rink-wide pass is behind Konstantinov. He drives hard for the net around Zhamnov. Lost control of it. There's going to be a penalty against Zhamnov.
Not much question about that. I mean, Alexei Zhamnov is going to protest. But this is a soft play by the Winnipeg Jets. They do have the man advantage. People just kind of standing around in the neutral zone is why Vladimir Konstantinov senses the opportunity to jump up into the play. Look at Jamnov. He just stops skating and puts the hook into the midsection of Konstantinov. Too late to throw your arms up into the air, Alexei. Merwelli's going to make that call every time.
So in 1:01, the Red Wings will have a power play of 59 seconds. Something the Jets said they had to do coming into this game. And I'm sure Terry Simpson reminded them of it in the dressing room before the start of the contest. Stay out of the penalty box, but that has not been the case tonight.
Simpson has got to be infuriated right now because they're given the gift of starting the third on the power play and they don't really get anything going.
Coffey throws it towards the net. He went off in the second period. He appeared to be having some problems with his foot. While Coffey can't skate, that certainly reduces his effectiveness. Here's Coffey taking the pass at the point. His shot is blocked in traffic. The Wings trying to keep it onside, and they succeed.
You talk about Paul Coffey. He has had a broken blood vessel in the one foot that has caused him some considerable discomfort, rather. And he seemed to block a shot with that same foot in the second period. That's when he went to the locker room.
Keith Tkachuk works his way through the neutral zone, now goes to the bench as the Jets make a change. In 16 seconds, the Red Wings will have a power play. Fedosov gets away from Shannon, moves it ahead to Fedorov. Fedorov takes it in deep, being watched by Newman. Fedorov trying to get into position. He shoots. That steers wide by Abby Bowen. Darren Shannon takes it behind his own net. The Red Wings back at full strength as Draper came out of the box and went over to the Red Wing bench. 50 seconds remaining in the penalty to Jamnov. Here comes Yzerman. He has Larionov with him. He takes the drop pass into the slot area. Good defensive play by Shannon to read that pass.
You know, we talked about the fact that the Jets are not standing up in the neutral zone. For the most part, the Red Wings able to penetrate the blue line without a lot of difficulty. A lot easier said than done against this Detroit Hockey Club because they do have so many talented forwards up front that are capable of beating you one-on-one. The defense, of course, certainly not encouraged to make their challenge too early in the zone.
And the Red Wing defenseman will jump up into the play as we have seen so often in this series. Yzerman with a long shoot-in. That ricochets around the glass. 6 seconds remaining in the Winnipeg penalty. Here's Yzerman in the corner. He leaves it there for Ciccarelli. He's checked by Muni. Ciccarelli goes down. Jamnov is back on the ice. Jets at full strength, and they have killed off another penalty. Larionov for Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli tries to feed it in front for Coffey, who came racing in from the point. Jamnov attempts to poke it past Coffey. Puck is caught up in skates. Jamnov will try and come the other way. Ciccarelli is preventing him from going in the direction he wants to. It comes loose right out in front of the net, picked up by Tkachuk.
I'm looking at the body language of some of those Winnipeg players as they head over to the bench, and they look exhausted.
Paul Coffey comes flying through the neutral zone. Primo goes hard to the net. Coffey centers it. Nobody in position. Picked up now by Shane Doan. Doan coming down the left side against Coffey. He shoots. The big rebound lying right in the crease. And it's cleared away. Primo took a solid hit against the end boards. Now here's Finlay. He shoots. That is fired wide. Eastwood gets it. He looks back to the point. Finlay throws it back into the corner. Center. Nobody in position. And finally Johnson gets it to the line. Not up. Shot right on. The puck is loose at the side of the net. And it's finally covered up by Osgood. And this line of Shannon, Eastwood, and Doan has been most effective for Winnipeg.
The one in that category.
Osgood only had to face 30 shots combined for the first 2 games of the series. A 4-1, 4-0 victory by the Red Wings.
That shot on goal by Keith Tkachuk was the first shot on goal generated by the big line of the Winnipeg Jets in this hockey game. Until that last one, Olchuk, Janney, and Tkachuk have been held right off the board.
Merwelli has called a penalty, and I think it's against Fedosov.
It's going to be Fedosov, and it's an elbowing penalty. Fedorov goes over to the referee to get the explanation on the play. Another good opportunity for Winnipeg. You look at the penalty situation, 6-1 in terms of the penalties called against Winnipeg versus Detroit. And this one has to fall into the marginal category as to what has gone on in this hockey game. Seemed to be significant contact, but the elbow was up a little high.
The Jets have managed just one shot in their 2 power play opportunities in this game. 0 for 22 in the series. But there was a game here at the Joe Louis Arena on the 8th of January where Winnipeg scored 4 power play goals. Here's Lidstrom shorthanded, dropping it off. Picked off by Newman. Lead pass for Tkachuk. Tkachuk had to put on the brakes for Newman. He had some problems controlling it. Airy clears, knocks it back out to center ice. Jamnov had to hurry to get back there to pick it up. Now he feeds it over to McIver. McIver works his way in. McIver shoots a weak shot that goes wide. Newman knocks it down at center ice. 1:23 remaining in the Winnipeg power play. Jamnov leaves it for McIver, rink wide for Newman, and he couldn't handle it. Pass fed ahead to Brown. Manson watching him. Manson ties him up. The puck is loose along the boards. Craig Janney starts away for Winnipeg. He manages to push it over on the wing. It's dumped in by Tverdovsky, but there's nobody in there to pressure the puck.
Just a lot more jump in the legs of the Detroit Red Wings than there is for the Winnipeg Jets.
Coffey's shot sails wide. Manson is bumped along the boards. Olczyk in there trying to free it. It does come loose, but it's knocked back into the Red Wing zone with 40 seconds remaining in the penalty to Fedosov. 14:15 left in the 3rd period in a 1-1 tie.
You know, I'm not so sure that puck went wide. I think that might have been the second big break for Habibul, and I believe that Paul Coffey shot might have gone off the knob of the goalkeeper's stick.
Again, the Jets try and dump it in, but the Red Wings are there ahead of any Winnipeg player. Chris Draper is out there forechecking with only 12 seconds remaining in the penalty against Fedosov. Here's a chance for Olczyk, and that's a glove save by Osgood, and he'll freeze it with just 3 seconds remaining in the Fedosov penalty. Trying to force a 6th game back in Winnipeg on Sunday. The Red Wings trying to wrap things up tonight here at the Joe Louis. Yzerman slides it across. There's the shot by Coffey. Coffey felt that he really didn't get onto the shot what he wanted. He banged a stick on the ice in a bit of frustration at the conclusion. Here's Tkachuk with a shot. That's steered to the corner. McIver tries to get it over to Tkachuk. Now it's to the point to Manson. He shoots. He scores! Dave Manson puts Winnipeg in front 2-1.
You talk about breaks. The Jets get another big one right here because it's a relatively harmless shot by Manson going towards the front of the net. But partway towards the crease, it deflects off one of the Detroit players. I think it might have been Paul Coffey. Let's take a look at it right here. Dave Manson gets the go-ahead goal, but look at this. He doesn't get a lot on this shot, but there's the deflection off the stick. It never did reach that Detroit defense or Chris Osgood cleanly. I think it's Fetisov who's cutting through the slot area, redirects that puck past Chris Osgood. Huge break for the Jets. Terry Simpson and his Chargers have got life.
That's the 2nd playoff goal for Dave Manson. It's unassisted at 6:52. So while they couldn't do anything on the power play, the Winnipeg Jets get the go-ahead goal. 13 minutes remaining in the 3rd period. Konstantinov weaves his way through center ice to Fedorov. He's stopped at the blue line. And now back after it goes Fedosov, being watched by Jamnov.
Let's go back to game 1. Remember what the Jets did. They had the 1-goal lead. They went into the defensive shell, and it backfired on them. We'll see if they learned anything from that experience. They have got to continue to play part of this game, at least in the Detroit zone.
Ian Fraser couldn't get it out. Fedorov, who had been knocked down, comes up with the puck for Larionov. He couldn't center. Now he looks for Fedosov, and here come the Winnipeg Jets as it's broken up. Led out through the neutral zone with Korolev trying to work around Konstantinov, who did a good job of cutting him off.
The other lesson to be learned from the first few games in this series is that when the Red Wings need a goal, all of a sudden their defense get a lot more active in the play in the offensive zone.
Abby Bullen handles the shot by Larionov, and he holds it for a face-off with 12 minutes remaining in the third period. And here it's 2-1 Winnipeg as Tverdovsky tries to skate the puck out of his own zone, having some problems handling it. Picked up now by Lidstrom, ahead to Johnson. Behind his back, there's the shot, and another save by Abby Bullen. He's lost his goal stick. And in front of the Winnipeg net, the defenseman, Craig Muni, is down on top of the puck.
Well, the Red Wings just continue to pour on the pressure against Abby Bullen. Wise play by Muni to hold on to that puck and get a whistle. Abby Bullen was without a goal stick. Appeared that it got knocked right out of his hands by the force of the Ciccarelli shot. Let's take a look at it right here. Here's the goal by Dave Manson, the go-ahead goal. Awards Winnipeg with the lead in this hockey game, but the Red Wings pour it on. Look at the nifty little behind-the-back pass. Johnson to Ciccarelli, and again, hits the knob of the goal stick of Abby Bullen with such force. You see the little mark on his stick right there. That's where the puck hit, knocked it right out of his hand.
Johnson gets the draw back to the line. There's a shot, the puck loose in front of the net. Jamnov tried to kick it back to Abby Bullen, and he succeeded. A bit of a dangerous play there by Jamnov, but he was able to neatly kick the puck back to Abby Bullen with all sorts of traffic in front of the Winnipeg goal.
And that time it was Greg Johnson who got shoved in toward the Winnipeg goalkeeper. See the stick right there. Here's that last shot by Ciccarelli. You can see the force of the shot knocks the stick right out of Abby Bullen's hands. Fortunate play once again because the puck had him beat. The stick just happened to be in the right spot at the right time.
Abby Bullen has faced 40 shots thus far, as the Red Wings have been firing from every conceivable angle, but they've only been able to beat him once, and that was with a two-man advantage in the second period.
And the question that you have to ask yourself, with Simpson going predominantly with just two lines in this hockey game, are the Jets going to have enough gas left at the end of the night?
Jamnov is able to clear. Well, his bench was reduced to 10 forwards with the injury to Chris King and the ejection of Stapleton. Now it's Jamnov and Tkachuk. Over to Jamnov, and he couldn't handle the pass.
Boy, and would that have been a big insurance goal for the Winnipeg Jets? 2-on-1 opportunity. That puck just seemed to bounce over the stick of Jamnov.
Jamnov bangs it off the boards and out. It's Paul Coffey bringing it back in. Trying to go around Finlay, and he throws it at the net from a sharp angle. Here's another shot that just goes wide. Coffey working in the corner. Finlay takes him in against the boards. Puck comes free to Newmanen. Newmanen pushes it ahead to Korolev. Shannon racing up in the play. Drop pass for Jamnov to Korolev. He tried to center it, and it wound up underneath a Red Wing player. And it's taken in against the boards for a face-off.
Boy, I tell you what, the Jets have had two odd man breaks in the last 45 seconds, and they haven't been able to put a shot on the net. Alexei Jamnov put it in the hands of Korolev, but Korolev passes up the shot on the second opportunity, and just seconds before that, here's the pass, Tkachuk to Jamnov. He goes to make the shift in front of Osgood, and the puck just dribbles off the end of his stick. That's a terrible break for the Winnipeg Jets. That would have been a huge goal to put them up 3-1.
Eastwood is out there now with Doan, gets the draw back to Manson. Manson's shot is blocked. It bounces off Yzerman, back out to center ice, and Yzerman goes limping off to the Red Wing bench. Turnover, picked up by Winnipeg. Ian Fraser back to the net for Eastwood. He was tied up, and now Primo goes rink wide with the pass as we approach the midpoint of the third period. Good job by Shane Doan to get back and break up the play. The Red Wings are relentless in their attack, although Konstantinov was stopped as he tried to slide it through to Fedorov. But Fedosov now feeds it ahead to Fedorov. That's a two-line pass.
Fedorov, certainly the offensive part of his game has been relatively quiet tonight. He's played a very physical contest, and he's been all over the ice defensively, but he really has not been able to get free of those Winnipeg back checkers so far. They've done a pretty good job of containing him. But is it me, or do you always get the feeling that Fedorov always has another gear that he can switch into at some point in the hockey game? And down one, I look for him to be a huge factor down the stretch.
Well, he was able to shift into that extra gear in Winnipeg in Game 4. He had 4 assists. Konstantinov in the corner. At the bottom right of your screen, you see the final minute of the Rangers-Canadiens game. 3-2 the Rangers lead, less than a minute remaining. Here it's 2-1 Winnipeg. Fedosov, a backhand shot. Flipped out of the zone by Newman. 9:28 remaining in the third period. Again, the play broken up at the blue line. Eddie Olczyk deflects it up into the crowd. Konstantinov, Coffey, Lidstrom, all jumping up into the play big time tonight for the Red Wings. So is Fedosov. Ramsey really has been the only stay-at-home defender. But in Game 1, he was jumping right up into the play. Bergevin hasn't seen much action since the first period, and Taylor hasn't been on the ice very much.
Well, and you figure that Scotty Bowman's going with a hunch right here as he gets Taylor up front and goes with perhaps the youthful legs that have an awful lot left in them. Taylor, Draper, and Brown. Again, you go back to Game 1. Remember, it was Bowman put them out for the last 18 seconds of that power play that kind of took everybody by surprise, and they came up with a huge goal.
Ramsey drives it in and takes a strange bounce. Brown kicks it behind the net. Tverdovsky neatly dodges a check. This is Chad Kilger's first shift. He can't control it. Loose puck in the slot. Another save by Happy Bullen, and it's dumped down the ice. Racing after it is Jamnov. Ramsey trying to get back. Jamnov puts on the brakes. Neat move, looking for Korolev in front. Broken up by the wings, and they are forced to flip it down the ice. Happy Bullen has to make the save. He plays it away from Draper. Tverdovsky was looking for Jamnov up at the blue line. Now Paul Coffey swings away from Jamnov, gets away from Korolev, gains speed as he hits center ice for Draper. Draper shoots, and it's in the pads of Nikolai Habibulin with 8:37 remaining in the third period. Winnipeg clinging to a 1-goal lead. Here it's 2-1, Winnipeg leading. Tkachuk gets the draw back to McIver, up along the boards for Olczyk. He bats it out of the air down the ice. Olczyk steals. He winds up in a glove save by Osgood. He leaves it there for Primo. Paul Coffey moves it ahead. Yzerman trying to work around McIver. They continue the battle as the puck goes back to the net. Lidstrom trying to cut it off at the blue line, and it deflects into the crowd, out of play with 8:06 remaining in the third.
Well, you sense that Winnipeg enjoying, call it a trap or whatever you want to call it. The trap is one thing as long as it's an aggressive trap, and that's what you're seeing at this stage of the game anyways from Winnipeg.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets, regardless of the outcome, will be chartering home immediately after the game tonight, and I wouldn't be surprised there'll be a fairly large welcoming committee at the Winnipeg airport. Even bigger if they can hang on to this 2-1 edge.
No question about that. They've said all along their entire focus was to provide those fans with another opportunity for the Sea of White perhaps to redeem themselves.
Even with the uncertainty of whether or not there would be a Game 6 in this series, Winnipeg fans have responded, and the game is completely sold out. It will take place Sunday if there is to be a 6th game, but still 7:44 separating the Jets from victory as Fedorov goes to the attack. He attempted to weave his way through. Newman is on him. Kozlov has it. Now for Larionov. Larionov centers it. Another save by Habibulin off Kozlov.
Not only was Kozlov right down off the crease, but Fedosov had pinched down from his blue line position. He was stationed right out front. One of those area passes by Larionov. Watch Kozlov. He rolls off the check by Jamnov and beats him to the front of the net. Larionov just slides it out in front. Good save again by Habibulin. Look at the little challenge by the goaltender. He moves off the post and gets down low. Nikolai takes a little bit of a peek over that right shoulder to make sure that he's got that puck in front of him. Slava Kozlov
He may regret the words that he spoke prior to this 5th game, saying he's figured out how to beat Nikolai Khabibulin.
Well, not too many of the Red Wings have got that figured out yet.
Well, it was Kozlov who scored one of the 6 goals in Game 4 as the Red Wings took a 3-1 series lead. And only Dino Ciccarelli on the power play has been able to put one past Nikolai Khabibulin tonight. Khabibulin, down the stretch run, was named the first star of the game in the Winnipeg Jets' last 3 wins. He was the first star of the hockey game in the Winnipeg Jets' only win so far in the series, and I think regardless of the outcome tonight, he'll probably be the game's first star.
No, there's no question about that. Defensive zone draws becoming critical at this point in the hockey game. It's been a dominant another part of the area for Detroit.
Shot trickled through just wide along the boards. The Jets are able to bang it out.
We talk about the importance of faceoffs. Winnipeg has only won 14 of 32 draws in the defensive zone tonight.
Craig Muni is able to hold up Chris Draper. Puck goes back into the corner. Eastwood takes his time before he throws it out of the zone. Puck deflected down into Winnipeg territory. Khabibulin plays it along the boards. Almost got trapped out there. Now Darren Shannon starts away. Shannon trying to drive it in, broken up by the wings, and they go to the attack again. McCarty puts on the brakes. He's spun around, but the play had already been called on an offside, and there is going to be a face-off back in Red Wing territory. 6:42 remaining in the 3rd. Tkachuk runs into some traffic back of the net. To the point now. Manson tees it up. His shot bounced off Osgood. Tkachuk was there. Olczyk gets it. Tried to center it. Back to the line for McIver. He throws it behind the goal. Olczyk behind the net trying to get it out front. Coffey has lost his stick. The Wings gain control and they bring it up ice. Yzerman is knocked down. The fans react thinking there should have been a penalty call. And it's Tkachuk knocking it out of the zone with Konstantinov going back after it.
Manson gets away with one again, trying to stand up Steve Yzerman.
Here's Primo working into the slot area. Backhand shot and the rebound is cleared to the boards. And this time there is a whistle and a penalty against Winnipeg.
It's going to be a tripping call against Eddie Olczyk. Here's the signal from referee Merwelli. Simpson takes a look up at the clock. They're down to 5:51 remaining. But before Merwelli made this call, he perhaps could have made one against Dave Manson defending against Yzerman. Yzerman with a step to the outside. Tripped by Manson. There was no call, but then when Primo brings it into the slot area, you see that both Tkachuk and Jamnov take the feet out from under him, and it's Tkachuk that gets the tripping penalty levied against him.
The 3rd minor called against Keith Tkachuk in this hockey game. 5:51 remaining. And this will be a big test for the Winnipeg Jets. Perry Pern, the assistant coach, on the headphones upstairs to Randy Carlyle as he talks strategy with Terry Simpson.
A big story in this hockey game, that Red Wing power play. 4 for 7 in Game 4, other than the 5-on-3 goal by Ciccarelli. They have been held off the board tonight.
Fedorov looks in front. Larionov takes up a position. Goes to the point for Lidstrom. Fedorov from a sharp angle. The rebound gathered up by Newmanen. Newmanen got it to the line and out. Darren Shannon works in against Paul Coffey. Shannon takes his time and then slides it down into the corner, picked up there by Larionov. He's forced to circle back. Shannon falls. Now it's fed ahead to Fedorov. Fedorov circles, looks for someone to give it to. 1:20 remaining in the penalty. Puck in the Winnipeg corner. Ciccarelli controlling it. Ciccarelli at the side of the net for Fedorov. Back to Coffey at the point. Over to Lidstrom, to Coffey. Coffey moving in. Larionov shoots, saved. The puck is loose in front, and the Winnipeg Jets get it down the ice.
Terrific save by Khabibulin once again. Larionov had time. He knew what he wanted to do with the puck, and that was go up high and under the bar, and Khabibulin just beat him.
Here's Ciccarelli. Checked along the boards by Finlay. Finlay will flip it high, and he'll put it into the crowd with 43 seconds remaining in the penalty. Well, actually, the clock continues to run.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets would love to see it run down about another 40 seconds or so, but I don't think Merwelli is going to let them away with that. Yzerman immediately goes over to the timekeeper's bench.
And it's still running. On the clock.
Take a look at Dino Ciccarelli in front of the goal. Now, one of the things that he does, not only is he providing the screen, but you see how he ties up Dave Manson? He does that so when the Red Wings do bring the puck down into the crease area, it's much more difficult for Manson to get back to the middle of the ice and battle for the rebounds. It's interference, but he does such a good job of disguising it that it is very rarely called against him. That's why Ciccarelli is one of the best power play guys ever to play the game.
The fans at the Joe Loup trying to get into it with 4:36 remaining. Puck goes to the boards. Zhamnov works his way out to center ice with Korolev. Zhamnov is hauled down. There'll be an offsetting Red Wing penalty. 34 seconds remaining in the Tkachuk minor. And Zhamnov draws a penalty with his hard work coming out of the zone.
Tremendous effort by Zhamnov as he was exiting the defensive zone. He puts a little move on the Red Wings, walks around him. It was really a 2-on-2 through the neutral zone, but the play was made by Zhamnov as he flipped that puck over to Korolev. Paul Coffey. Boy, you'd have to think that Paul Coffey should never pull anyone down. He skates so darn well, he'll always be able to get back into position. I'm sure that he's pretty frustrated with himself right now.
15:36, the time of the hooking call against Paul Coffey. 4:24 remaining in the third. Winnipeg, the only team to beat the Red Wings twice during the regular season. They also held Scotty Bowman's team to a 5-5 tie. The Red Wings won the last 3 regular season meetings to win the seasonal series 3-2-1. They lead this playoff round 3-1. But the Winnipeg Jets struggling desperately to take this series back to Winnipeg for a 6th game on Sunday.
There's no comfort zone, certainly, for the Winnipeg Jets. Remember, Detroit has already scored 3 shorthanded goals in this series. The Jets, again, cannot just continue to back up.
Fedorov gets the slot, hits the post. Now back to the line to Konstantinov. He tees it up. It goes wide. Fedorov in the corner, being watched by Eastwood. Tried to throw it back to the line. The Winnipeg Jets break out, 3 of them. Konstantinov trying to get back. Here's Shannon. Cross-ice pass and a great save by Osgood.
Reminiscent of Game 3 where Dave Manson scored the big goal in the odd man situation. This time, Chris Osgood comes up big.
Here's Yzerman driving towards the net. Kicked to the corner by Abby Bowen. Puck remains in the Winnipeg zone. Zhamnov gets it back to Newman. 3:29 remaining in the third period. 1 minute now in the Winnipeg power play. Winnipeg in front by a score of 2-1. Here's Newman driving it in. Ramsey takes it back to the net. Throws it up along the boards. Yzerman leaves it there for Bob Airy. Yzerman getting set. Knocked to the corner by Abby Bowen. Centering attempt. Nobody in position. And the Winnipeg Jets start back, led by Craig Janney. He slides it ahead to Zhamnov. Zhamnov moving in. He attempted to go cross ice for Tkachuk. Tkachuk has it. He shoots. Saved by Osgood. Back at the line, it's McIver. McIver throws it into the corner. Fed across to Tverdovsky. A backhand shot towards the net. Knocked down. Janney plays it around the board. Zhamnov lets it go to the point to McIver. 15 seconds in the penalty. There's a shot. It's broken up at the line. Long lead pass for Primo. Primo going in. Cut off by Tverdovsky. Draper takes McIver in against the boards. The puck is underneath them with 1 second left in the Paul Coffey penalty. 2:25 in the third period. The Jets coming very close to getting what might have been a clinching goal.
And again, the Red Wings just have so much speed up front on the penalty killing unit that when the puck does turn over, they immediately go to the attack. But I tell you what, Chris Osgood made a series of outstanding saves. 2-on-1 opportunity. Here's the pass across. It's onto the stick of Manson. You see Osgood, the two-pad slide, just gets a piece of that puck. And then later on, Tkachuk gets it right between the hash marks. That puck deflected, and Osgood still manages to get the right leg on it. That perhaps saved the game for the Detroit Red Wings. It gives them a chance. They're only down by 1. 2 minutes and 25 seconds remain.
52 shots now Nikolai Khabibulin has faced. Detroit, 13 first period shots, 19 in the second and 20 in the third.
And the Red Wings have come up with a couple of defensive gems as well. There's the work of Mike Ramsey again, a partial 2-on-1 for Winnipeg, and Jamnov just can't get the puck across.
The maintenance staff had to come out to clean up some debris that was thrown on the ice.
Detroit also again comes very close. That time Fedorov just threw it towards the net, took a strange bounce off a skate, and Khabibulin gets another good break.
Well, he's had a couple of breaks tonight, but there's been no denying his brilliance with 52 saves, 2:25 remaining in the third. Yumina takes it to safety, back of his own net. Skates away now from Primo. Primo trying to stay with him. Yumina gets to center ice. He'll flip it in. He was looking for Shannon. It bounced over his stick. Shannon takes Coffey in against the boards. Here's a lead pass for Fedorov. Fedorov gains the line, slides it through for Primo, and he fires wide. At the point, Coffey directs it towards the net. Knocked down in front of the goal. It goes back of the net, and then it's grabbed by Khabibulin, and behind the Winnipeg net, Cicerelli is involved. And Mike Eastwood in there with the veteran Dino Cicerelli.
Pick up speed. This team has too much talent on the wings, and if you give him time to move that puck around, you know Detroit's going to get a couple more chances to score.
1:49 remaining in the third period. Winnipeg hanging on for dear life. They lead at 2-1. Yzerman tried to work his way through. He was stopped. The puck in the corner. Tkachuk is batting it for it. He flips it to the line. Knocked out by Jani. Olchek picks it up. Fires it into the corner. Picked up there by Tkachuk. Tkachuk takes a shot. That bounced right in front of the net. And Jani couldn't get a stick on it. 1:20 remaining as McIver goes back after it. McIver dumps it down the ice. Picked up by Jamnov. Jamnov poked it through. Fraser along the boards trying to move it. 1:08 remaining in the third period. Winnipeg leading 2-1. Here comes Yzerman. Yzerman into the slot. Shoots. That's up high. Bouncing off the glass. The Detroit net is empty. The extra attacker is out there. Jamnov couldn't get a stick on it. Primo tried to throw it towards the front of the net. 49 seconds remaining. The extra attacker out there. Jamnov manages to flip it down the ice. He scores! That will do it! The Winnipeg Jets, with 40.5 seconds remaining, have a 3-1 lead. And the series looks very definitely as though it will be going back to Winnipeg Sunday.
Well, what a remarkable effort by the Winnipeg Jets. Clearly outmatched for most of this hockey game. They get the brilliant game from Khabibulin, and they battle it out of the zone. Dominated from start to finish. There's only 40 seconds remaining.
Jamnov unassisted at 19-19, offsetting slashing penalties to Dave Manson and Keith Primo when the goal was scored. 23 seconds remaining now as the Red Wings work their way through the neutral zone. Airy fires it in, and this is a delayed offside call as it's stopped by Khabibulin. So don't write those obituary notices yet. Don't make them final for the Winnipeg Jets.
What do you think, Don? You think it'll be a loud crowd when they get back to Winnipeg?
Last fight, wear white. That has been the theme of the playoffs, and white noise might take the roof right off the Winnipeg Arena on Sunday.
You know, I've said throughout this series that a guy like Teppo Numminen had to get more involved. I'd like to see his ice time, the minutes he logged during this hockey game. No wonder he doesn't get more involved in the offense. He's out there in every critical penalty-killing situation. He draws all kinds of special attention from Detroit. He had himself just an unbelievable night. the Red Wings, with all that firepower, just could not solve Habby Bulin. See the satisfying look on the faces of those Winnipeg players. Scotty Bowman, well, it's going to be back to the drawing board, and we will await whatever adjustments, and you know there are going to be some, for the Red Wings in Game 6.
This is only the 4th time that the Red Wings have been beaten on home ice this year. But what a huge, huge win for the Winnipeg Jets. And Nikolai Habby Bulin is without question the man responsible for taking this series back to Winnipeg, and a 6th game on Sunday.